Often referred to as the godmother of punk, Patti Smith isn't so fond of the label.
Every time you see a journalist that calls me a punk rocker, it's because they don't have the imagination or the professional intelligence or curiosity to see the full breadth of what I've done and what my band has done. So it's really just lazy journalism.
The daughter of a jazz-singing Jehovah's Witness, she was born in Chicago in 1946 and in the late 60s moved to New York, where she frequented fashionable nightclubs and befriended musicians and photographers such as Robert Mapplethorpe. She formed the Patti Smith Group and built a cult following through performances at the legendary New York punk rock club CBGB's. Her debut album, Horses, released in 1975, subsequently inspired many big names in rock and remains at number 44 on Rolling Stone's list of the greatest albums of all time. Over the decades, she's collaborated with the likes of Bruce Springsteen and Michael Stipe's, covered songs by Kurt Cobain, the Rolling Stones and Prince, exhibited her own paintings, delivered literary lectures and been named a Commander of the Order of Arts and Letters by the French Ministry of Culture. Trying to capture it all in a movie was a challenge that filmmaker Steven Sebring had to say yes to.
I mean, she does so many things. I mean, how could you not, you know? I always think of this movie as like a fine wine, you know? And we had no design. You know, I didn't have a design. She didn't hire me to film her. It just sort of happened naturally.
After working with Steven for 12 years, Patti was determined to see Renaissance Woman as much more than a documentary.
One of the reasons I like working with Steven is he wasn't interested in doing a so-called rock documentary. Yeah. He was interested because I paint, I take photographs, politically active, I'm a mother, and he was interested in everything that I do, and so that rock and roll, although is quite important, is in its place in accordance with my life. And I was very pleased with that, because I would like, you know, if one is going to be perceived publicly, I would be happier being perceived as more well-rounded and not concentrated in one area.
And those fans hoping to get a chronological account of Patti's life and career had better look elsewhere.
Time, you know, we don't live such linear lives. You know, we're always accessing the past and hoping for the future. And so the movie, without being too confusing, I believe has a sense of past, present, and future happening almost simultaneously, because that's how we are as human beings. We carry our whole life with us.